When the purchaser needs to find out what to buy, he can use the accumulation in API Pro. Accumulation for the purchase need we find here in purchase. Accumulation for the purchase needs. When we start up here, we need to put in here a filter. If we want everything in it, we should add some more in it. If we want to have less, or a specific group, header, receiving stock or something, we can put in the filter for it. In this case here, I will look at everything that I need to buy. That means everything below minimum, coming from the stocks, and all the internal orders. The internal orders is divided into 6 categories. General, spare part purchase request, spare part inquiry, spare part stock request, service request, and service inquiry request. We want to see them all. So I select OK, and the system will now generate a temporary table for me with all my items. So this is now the list of spare parts that I need to buy. The first section that we have up here is supplier not defined. It means that it's not coming from the stock, it's only coming from the request, where the user did not know who the supplier was, and therefore not defined. Before I can make a purchase order on these, I need to add a supplier for them. If there is a supplier attached to the spare part that I want to buy, there will be a section up below. As we can see here, we have supplier BE001 with 3 items, and we have Linatex with 1. Of course, here there could be many. But the list we're looking at here is a template list. It means it only exists as we look at it. If I close the window, it will disappear and I have to run the same program again to create the list. It also means if I make any changes in here, which I should do as a purchaser, if I do not save them, that means create an inquiry or a purchase order, it would also disappear. It will be deleted. Not the information itself, but the change that I made. Let me give you an example. If I select, for example, here the bearing 14, I double click on it or select edit, I can see what's coming here from the request. If I go in here and change the quantity, let's say 20, and I add the price $120 and save it. Now I can see the change in my list. But if I leave the list, run it again, we're back. It's still saying 14. I can see here as well the price is 0. So for the change to have an effect, I should either make a purchase order or an inquiry. What the purchaser can do here is, of course, to make a batch of the suppliers in it. In this case, we have, for example, our pencils. Now I can see I have 2 of them, 12 each. One of them could be wrong, or I should actually buy 24. But I should add it up to the same supplier. In this case, I've tried to put it down on Linatex. So I double click on the line, find my supplier, add Linatex. So I need to put in data here as well. If I know the price from our supplier, I could add the price here. The price here is only the price that we sent to our supplier. It's not the price that we're actually going to pay for it. The payment itself will come in on the invoice. This is only for the registration, so we know what we expect the price would be. In this case here, I save it. And my pencil 12 here is now added to the supplier. Now I do the same for the other one. Select the line. And 1. Cost type. And save it. So now I have 3 items for lean attacks. If these are the only items that I need to buy from the lean attacks, I can now go down and select all of them. I hammer it down the shift and select the last one. Now all 3 is marked. Now I can go down here and select purchase. In this case, when I select my purchase, I can either add the items to already existing purchase key, or I can select a new one. When I select new here, I will go into the purchase order. In here, the only thing I need to do is select save, unless I have more information I could or should change. For example, the shipment condition, delivery condition, and the payment condition. I save it. When I save it, my lines will now be removed from my list, my accumulation, and I can see it here on my lines here. And here I have now the updated information. The price is 1, price is 1. So now we have a purchase order ready. The purchase order here is still not ordered. To make the order, I need to approve it, print it out. The approval is depending on if we have the approval rule attached to it. If I try to approve it here, I can see now here that rules of approval is not enabled. If it is enabled, the system will look how much money I'm ready to buy for. In this case, it will calculate the price from the lines that we have here, depending on the quantity. And then we'll calculate how much money this entire purchase order will be, and see if I'm allowed to buy for that amount of money. In this case, since it's disabled, I can simply go down and print the order. When I print the order, it is set here as proof. It will be set to active. I select OK. I can print it out. In this case here, I have 2 interfaces for the printout. I select the first one. And the system will now generate my purchase order. Here we have all the information. From here, I can either print it out as a PDF, or I can email it directly to my supplier. So now that my purchase order here is in order, I can close the window. Now I can continue with my purchase order accumulation with the other items that I have. Create the purchase order and activate them. If I have a line, in this case, for example, my bearing here, I can also go in as we can see on the bottom here, to change to have a look at the supplier. We can take a look at the status. We can also change the type. In this case here, it is the request type that we have, the 6 as before. more info. And then we can also go here and make a reject. So if I select the line and reject it, I can put in here a rejection node. And will disappear from the list. This change is active. So when I leave it and go back into it, it's still not here. So if you reject a line, it's gone. The request still exists, but now has a rejection node in it and marked rejected.